the show tonight to interview our special guest. Show highlight the Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, boxing, tennis, golf, and racing. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Tune in for all the news and scores, reporting on the games and so much more. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show.
Welcome, everybody, to another great episode of the Alford Sports Talk Show. I feel like we went through a long journey and we went around the world and back. And we're here back live on the Alford Sports Talk Show. It's been a little minute, but I'll tell you everything that's going on, everything you need to know, and then some. It's we're back. We're back. Glad to be back. Glad to be with you guys. And man, you know, would I have thought that I would have been doing a show about 3 weeks later from the Super Bowl? No. But once I get into what transpired and everything, you'll probably get a good gist as to what took so long. So, yeah. So, here in the Alford Sports Talk Show, just in case you missed it, didn't see it, we had the honor of covering Super Bowl 60, and it was, let me just tell you right off the bat, magnificent. It was absolutely fantastic. I know, I know Michael Irvin would disagree with me, but yeah, from my vantage point, from the media standpoint, it was fabulous. I mean, the great thing about it is, I would have to say, first and foremost, thank you to the NFL. Thank you for the wonderful blessing of allowing the Alford Sports Talk Show to cover Super Bowl 60. It was magnificent. It really was. I think the thing that went to my advantage in covering Super Bowl 60 is that I didn't come in with any expectations. I didn't come in with any pre notions, any expectations whatsoever. Like, even as soon as the players showed up, as far as the airport, I didn't come in with any expectations at all. So I think that went to my advantage in the regard that, hey, I looked at it for what it was worth and what happened, not thinking about something or expecting something and then falling either short of that or above that. You know what I'm saying? I think in life, a lot of time what happens with people is that they have a predisposition or expectation going into certain situations, and then you're comparing that expectation level to what happens. It could, if you didn't have that expectation, you would have been, really, really exuberant with the results. But if you have an expectation, you thought the expectation should be up here, and then maybe it was like tick below or over here, you're going to be disappointed. But if you don't come with any expectation, which is what I try to do in life as much as I possibly can, a lot of times, and more often than not, you'll be pleasantly surprised rather than, upset or disappointed. And that's what happened here. I didn't come with any expectations, you know, and the truth be told, by not coming in with any expectations, I was pleasantly surprised, but I also learned a lot throughout the process. Let me start it off with, their arrivals. When I've seen bus arrivals before, you know, I've gotten, from the UFL, so it's not my first rodeo as far as greeting a team as they come in via the bus. But the NFL, they did things so magnificent. When we were waiting in the hangar, they provided us with food. That was something that was I had never experienced before. And not only that, when we were waiting in the hangar, they had a really cool band there playing for us while we were waiting for the buses, for the planes to arrive and the gentleman to get there. We weren't allowed to do interviews there at the airport, but we was allowed to do pictures and video, which was awesome. You know, so just that was really really cool. Let me give you a little clip of the airport video. All right, everybody. Guess where I'm at? The airport. You see right there. Yeah, so the players going to be coming in a little bit over an hour. The Patriots are in first. Seahawks second. You guys are getting set up. And this is at least, I don't know, let me let you see it. Let's say about 16 to 17 media outlets here, and they're still coming. I got a great spot though. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. Players are coming in. I'll give you guys some behind the scenes content. This is behind the scenes you get. Right here is a hangar. Net Jets. I'm gonna show you here. Shout out to Warren Buffett. That's his company, Net Jets. So there's a plane taking off right now, private jet. You see right here. So this is Alan from the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. I'll bring you more a lot later. Let's go. Yeah. So just the airport alone was magnificent. You didn't I didn't have any expectations again. So to me, that was really cool that we had food. They provided plenty of food, drinks, and you had a really really cool band that showed up. That was amazing. To me, you can't really understate that. I will show the video of the van that was there a bit later in the week. I don't want to give away all the surprises, but yeah, the band showed up. Now, just the arrivals, though, to me, that revealed quite a few things as far as the Super Bowl portion of it. One thing is, yeah, I was having a great time and enjoying everything just like the players and everybody connected to Super Bowl, but it also was focused and kept my mind on there is a game that's being played at the end of the week. And hopefully that's the same mindset that some of the players had. So I wanted to, prior to going and leaving to go to the Super Bowl to cover it, the whole time, I actually had the Patriots winning the Super Bowl. I had the Patriots. I was very sure the Patriots were going to win the Super Bowl. However, as I go along here, I'm going to explain to you something became very glaring and obvious to me that I'll just explain to you a bit later. But it was something that revealed itself. The airport arrival was different from the Patriots and the Seahawks. Vastly different. The Patriots came in first, so we were expecting the Patriots come in first. And let me give you a little clip of the Patriots arrival. All right. Now the Patriots, they came in, plane was decked out Patriots. It had on the rudder the 6 Super Bowl wins. And even if you were not covering the Super Bowl, if you were anywhere near that hangar, that part, you would have discovered, you would have noticed the Patriots plane because it was decked out. Me and in fact another member of the media even noticed that we didn't see, and I had my telephoto lens. There was guys who had even more expensive equipment than I did, both video and camera, and that's usually par for the course. You normally see that covering media. There's always going to be somebody who has a bigger and better camera, whether it be video, whether it be photo, or in both. So that was no problem with that. But one thing that we both noticed with our cameras is there was no logo on the Patriots plane. There was no JetBlue, Southwest, Delta. There was nothing that indicated that there was anything other than the Patriots plane. Let me just take a look here. Somebody is saying something here. Yes. So there was nothing that indicated that, maybe sponsored on the phone on the plane or, offset the cost. It was all Patriots. I couldn't see any logo, and so couldn't some of the other members of media, which I was like, man, the Patriots are missing an opportunity here. I mean, I know you got the Patriots, but hey, put a logo on there or have somebody put a logo on there to offset them costs. But it was all Patriots on that plane, clear as day. The Patriots also came in wearing whatever they wanted, which was not a bad thing. Wasn't really a bad thing or anything like that. But you kind of could feel, just me, I'm very good at feeling emotions and people's feelings and what they're thinking. You could kind of feel a little bit of entitlement, I felt, from the Patriots. Just the way they went about their business, the way they kind of could, just, and it wasn't a bad thing, but I could notice it. Here comes the Seahawks. You know, Seahawks came in, by about 45 minutes to an hour later, not much later. We didn't have to wait too much longer for them to come in. The timing was very good. But let me show you the Seahawks. Let me show you them arriving. All right. Here we go. All right. And I had to show you the lower quality video because the it doesn't let you upload the full version. But yes, the Seahawks came in Atlas Air. There was not one logo on the plane, not one. In fact, a couple of people in the media was like, "Hey, you sure this is a plane? You sure this is a plane?" Because a couple of them thought they were going to come in with the decked out plane with the 12 logo on the back or the rudder. No, it was Atlas Air, very no logo whatsoever. And the interesting thing about them showing up was everybody wore a gray sweatsuit, a matching gray sweatsuit. And to me, as I said in my book, as you can see over my shoulder here, Cellular Heart Art, there's a chapter in the book called Details, Details, Details. Details, details, details. The reason why that is the case is because details matter. Details matter. To me, Patriots came in wearing what they wanted to wear, which is fine for them. The Seahawks came in everybody on the plane, family member, friend, equipment manager, everybody on the plane had the same all gray Seattle Seahawks sweatsuit on. To me, that was a major detail because it's showing you team unity and camaraderie. And it is more of a statement than saying it. From me getting content, it was harder for me because everybody was wearing a gray sweatsuit. When the Patriots came off, I could clearly see Stephon Diggs. He had a fur jacket on. I could see Drake May. He had a white hat on, and you could identify them if you were quick enough using, especially if using your camera with the Patriots. Seahawks, not so much because they were all wearing gray. There was no real identifying features from one person to the other. And I thought that was great team spirit and camaraderie. When I show up to All Pro Dad appearance with the family, I usually have everybody wearing the same All Pro Dad shirt. So when we show up, we're a family. It's more of a shown thing than anything. And that is a big detail. Getting people to agree on wearing one thing is something. Props to Eric Kennedy because he was the one who, as I explained to you a bit later, what happened in a week, I discovered who thought of that idea. That was huge. Then comes another big detail that showed to me again the Seahawks, I beg your pardon, the Seahawks were looking very good. Let me show you this too. Yes, the Seahawks gave everybody, as many as they had, a big box, a Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl 60 hat. They gave away a hat and they gave away, I let the fans get theirs first and then they had some extra. They had plenty and they gave some to the media. And I thought that was an outstanding gesture and an amazing detail because it's not just the fact that I got a free hat out of the deal, which I'll show you the hat here. I have it here. It's the fact that they were thinking about their fellow man. They knew that somebody was going to be at the airport expecting them. Fans, media, they knew it. They knew it. And they didn't just blow it off, so to speak, or say whatever. You know, when I was leaving the airport, I started thinking to myself, I wonder who's going to win the Super Bowl. Then I looked over to my right, and the answer was literally right in front of my face. You could see right here the Seahawks logo. They gave these hats away. This is like to me, this is awesome. This is like a $35 hat if you were selling so maybe $40 hat. If you're in the Bay Area, you would definitely, it was $40. Everything in there was expensive. In San Francisco, you know how that goes. But let me just get the logo again one more time. It was glaring to me, like wow, that's a big sign for the Seahawks. It came in gray. They were all business, no flash. That's usually a good thing when it comes to sports. I'm not gonna lie to you. Usually, the less flash you are, usually the results is a lot better. Usually, the more flash you are, in most cases, the results are not as good. Not saying in itself that was it, but if you had asked me who was going to win the Super Bowl based on just the arrival, I'm sorry, I'm voting for the Seahawks. It was. I love the fact that it came in low key. They were all gray. They gave away hats, details, details, details. Again, shout out to Eric Kennedy. To me, that makes a difference. See, younger people and younger guys, they may not realize those details. Me, I do. Those details matter because that shows me you're detail oriented, just the whole organization. So that was a big sign right off the bat for the Seahawks. And again, I had the Patriots winning the Super Bowl coming down for the Super Bowl. So I said, all right, that's the beginning. There's still a middle and an end. So the rest of the trip was just fantastic. Now, this was another big sign to me by being down there that the Seahawks were going to win the Super Bowl. This was, I would have to say, just as big of a sign, if not even bigger of a sign to me. Everything was pointing to the Seahawks. Another thing was myself, as well as quite a few members of the media, felt as if the Seahawks were the better team versus the Patriots. That's just what I felt, what some of the members of media felt. Everything for the Patriots was looking good, meaning, you know, uh, they showed up. I did an interview with, one of the Patriots cheerleaders, Haley Schmidt, and I'll show you that interview right now.
I like your shirt.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. So just please tell us your full name and tell us what made you decide to become a New England Patriots cheerleader.
Absolutely, yeah. My name is Haley Schmidt. I'm originally from Long Island, New York, and when I was finishing grad school, I had grown up dancing and cheering and always hoped I would make it into the professional field in some way. And the New England Patriots cheerleaders just kind of called out to me. They had a style that I loved, they had a confidence that I wanted, and I so badly wanted to eventually try to be part of that, and decided to audition when I was graduating and joined the team back in 2023.
Being that I'm from New York and you're from New York, what was it about being in New York that gave you that drive to keep pushing forward?
If you're from New York, you're a resilient person. That is for sure. And I would say that is definitely true with myself as well. Growing up in dance, you hear lots of no's before you get that yes. And that makes the yes all the more worth it.
And talk about that yes moment that you got from the Patriots that you made the team.
Absolutely. The first thing I did was I called my mom. She was my first dance teacher. She was my biggest inspiration. And I FaceTimed her in the car as soon as the list went up. And we both started crying on the phone, just talking about what this meant and how my life would change, but more importantly, how happy we were.
And in the future, what do you decide? What do you want to do in the future going forward? Keep dancing?
I hope I'm always dancing. I don't know if it'll always be in a professional way, maybe teaching. I would love to maybe open up a dance studio one day and teach younger generations and spread that love.
Awesome. And go Patriots, right?
Go Patriots.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Yes, so I don't get a chance to interview too many cheerleaders, so that was awesome. And I would like to, because I think Haley Schmidt is a perfect example of this, that she's got beauty and brains, man. And that's a combination you don't find too often. Got a master's degree as well. Yes, there's a lot more that I think cheerleaders and dancers have to offer than just pretty looks. Haley Smith's a perfect example. Wouldn't have known that she was from my home state, New York. She's from Long Island, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn is a rougher neighborhood, and Long Island is, south, more south, about an hour, I would say, south. 45 minutes to an hour, depending on where you are in Long Island. Could be further if you're in Southampton, but that is awesome. And Hofstra University is no easy school. That is something that you got to grind and do well. And obviously she did. So props to Haley Schmidt. She did an outstanding interview. Really appreciate her doing that. So things were looking good for the Patriots. In fact, one of the XFL players, we had met, and what ended up happening was Jose Borregales. And what ended up happening was he became, he's a kicker of the Guardians. I ended up covering him. I ended up meeting his mom. Lo and behold, his younger brother is Andy Borregales, who was the kicker for the Patriots. So that was really cool. I had that connection too. So everything was looking good for the Patriots until this point. And up until this point, I still had the Patriots win the Super Bowl. But this was a telling sign to me. And it wasn't a telling sign for the good of the Patriots winning the Super Bowl. Two things happened. Two major things happened. So we had the beginning, Seahawks looking good with the arrival. Now we have the middle. The middle was significant. What happened was we went to a press conference and Mike Vrabel was going to be taking questions from the media. He was going to be in a podium taking questions. Now, you did have an opportunity opening night to ask Mike Vrabel some questions, but there was just so much media and so packed that if I would have got a chance to ask him a question, I may have been able to ask him and maybe one other person. That was it. It's kind of like, if you ever been to a charity event, you have a time to get some autographs. If you go into the big heavy hitters, which you might need the big heavy hitters to get them signed something for you, the chances are you're going to maybe get a big heavy hitter and maybe one other person. And that's what I felt with Mike Vrabel. I felt like, you know what, let me not invest all the time. It was pretty deep with Mike Vrabel, JSN, Jackson Smith, Nick Jigba, and Stephon Diggs. They had at least 50 deep as far as media around them. And I could have finagled in, got my questions asked, but it would have been a wait. And I was like, let me not Let me not do that. So, but this was a press conference. Mike Vrabel was going to ask questions that I sat in the front, my shirt, say, Alan Alford, Sports Talk Show. You guys know, you've seen it before. And I didn't get my questions asked. There was two guys with mics, and they were kind of pretty much asking questions for the people they know. And most people who got shunned would have been mad and PO'd. And I wasn't mad and PO'd. I was more disappointed. And why I would say I was disappointed, it's kind of like a father disappointment more than anything, was because to me, what happens is this. You can call it, you can say what it is, but I'm gonna be real and honest with you. People who trespass against Alan Alford don't prosper. Again, people who trespass against Alan Alford don't prosper. And they clearly, to me, trespassed against me because I was sitting in the front. Everybody in the area around me could tell I wanted a question asked. I was shunned. It was clear. But I wasn't mad, but that's what happened. And usually I've kept receipts on this. It doesn't end well for that person. It doesn't. To me, that was not a good sign for the Patriots winning the Super Bowl. Just being real with you. Just that wasn't, and again, I wasn't mad or angry. Most people are like, man, these bleep, 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 bleep. I wasn't. I wasn't mad. But I was like, oh well, probably not gonna win the Super Bowl now because that was definition of trespass. I said, but before I put a sentence on this, the Seahawks are winning Super Bowl 60 and the Patriots have no chance, period. Let me do one more thing. And what did I do? Was I said, you know what? This was actually pretty creative on my part. So let me ask one of the players the exact same question I was going to ask Coach Vrabel. And here you go. This is the question I was going to ask Coach. And this is what happened. Let me go ahead and pull this up for you so you can see it yourself.
Can you just talk about what has the coaching staff maybe said to you or said to the players to kind of keep their nerves at ease in a big game like this?
I feel like, I think the biggest thing is like us acknowledging that, the nerves and all that's going to be there. I feel like when you just don't acknowledge it, it's like, you can't shy away from what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a big game, it's a Super Bowl, but also, giving us the logistics of how things are going to go, how things are going to happen. Always talking about history of the Super Bowl, what's happened in the past, learning from that, things to do and not to do. So,
okay, appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, so props to Jalen Hawkins, safety for the Patriots, for answering my question. And yes, he did answer the question. It was a very good answer. But I just felt as if the only advantage, because again, me and a lot of members of media felt as if the Seahawks were the better team. The only real advantage I felt the Patriots had in this game was their experience. The fact that they've been to the Super Bowl multiple times. And usually when you've been to Super Bowl multiple times, you could pretty much guide someone along and say, hey, this is what you do to deal with your nerves. When you get there, Monday and Tuesday, you're going to deal with media. This is how you should navigate that. You understand? I felt like Jalen's answer was very good, but I felt as if the fact that, he did say they were going to be nervous and understandable. 137 plus million people watch the peak of the Super Bowl. So I get it. But I felt, though, because you're basically saying you're going to be nervous and they're probably going to be nervous, to me, that wasn't adequate enough in the fact that that wasn't an advantage the Patriots had over the Seahawks. It was something that I thought was an advantage, but it really was an advantage. Jalen's answer was basically, we're going to be a bit nervous. They are too. Like, basically, we're going to deal with some nerves. They are too. So then there is no advantage you have with experience and all of that. And if you did, I don't feel as if they hammered it enough. Like, okay, maybe you talked about it. I felt maybe it should have been deeper. That's debatable. But to me, leaving from Jalen answering my question, I didn't feel as if the Patriots had an advantage when it came to nerves and experience coming into this Super Bowl 60. So to me, at that point, I had done what I needed to do and done my research, and I put a period at the end of that sentence. The Seahawks are winning Super Bowl 60, and the Patriots have no shot of winning, period. And it's no diss on anybody. It's no trying to hurt anybody's feelings. That's what was glaring to me at that point. So much so, not the next day, the day after, because I was kind of busy. I knew I was going to be busy in the morning. The next day, I called my son and I actually got him at the right time. It was my son, my wife, all my entire family, all the kids, and everybody. And I said, I've done my investigation. I've checked into this. Certain things were glaring to me, and I'm officially changing my prediction from the Patriots winning to the Seahawks. So much so that I'm going to go on record and saying there's absolutely no chance the Seahawks have of winning Super Bowl 60. The Patriots are going to win this game. No doubt about it. Make sure you write that down that I changed my prediction and changed my pick to the Seahawks. They are winning Super Bowl 60. It's a wrap. That's how confident I was. Because the one advantage I thought they had, they did not have. They gave away the hats. That was a big sign for them. They had that team camaraderie. And then, last and behold, when you trespass against Allen Alford, you don't prosper. It's just a fact. It's not something I'm making up. I kept receipts on this, and it was clear to me who was going to win. When the game happened, the way it went down, it may have surprised a lot of people. It did not surprise me one bit. The way it happened, the way it went down, how the Seahawks shut them down, it didn't surprise me at all. It did not. I expected it. It was a wrap. It was a wrap. And that's what happened. The thing I learned from this is that, if you do have an advantage in any competition, you got to use that advantage to you got to drive it home. Like, yes, it's good that they spoke about it, but I felt as if it wasn't adequate enough. You had to make sure that the players were ready to go. They weren't really nervous. Like, hey, I'm going to release some more interviews I did. I did talk more about the nerves with other people. I'm not going to spoil a surprise of who I spoke to, but you will see it in the next few days, coming days and week, that I'm going to release those interviews. But yes, I was not surprised, and I predicted the Seahawks were going to win Super Bowl 60, and I was 110% right. That's what it is. That's what it is. Beginning, middle, and end. Beginning, middle, end. Airport, beginning, middle, what happened after we got here, and the end was after I actually got my question answered. Beginning, middle, end. So congratulations to the Seahawks winning Super Bowl 60. To me, it was a very, very good and entertaining Super Bowl. I had no issues with it. I know some people want to see offense and all of that stuff, but to me, it was fantastic. So much so, another thing that I knew that I predicted and knew that Bad Bunny was going to do a great job. And props to Bad Bunny. Props to Bad Bunny. I attended his press conference, and I think people need to lay off Bad Bunny. The man did the whole press conference in English. He speaks English. But listen, the first game of the year, people forget this. The first game of the year was in Brazil, and we had a Brazilian dancer and singer. She performed. The only thing she said in English is, I love you guys. That's it. Everything was in Spanish. So the first game of the year was in Spanish, and the last game of the year was in Spanish. Hey, Bad Bunny had this opportunity presented to him. You guys need to lay off. Let me explain to you this about Bad Bunny. I'm going to show you this clip. Benito Antonio Martinez Acacio, aka Bad Bunny, has 17. I have it right here. 17 Billboard Awards, 54 Spanish Billboard Award wins. Won and set history just this past Grammy of having the best album all in Spanish, win Best Album. The complete project was in Spanish. You know, that's the thing. Like, I think people need to just lay off my man. And he did it. He did it. He has 334 wins. Debbie Terrar Mas Fotos. Debbie Terrar Mas Fotos at the 68th Annual Grammy Awards, which English means I should have taken more photos. I should have taken more photos. And when I went to Super Bowl 60, I was saying to myself, I am not going to say the same thing. I'm going to take photos of everything. I should have taken more photos is the name of the album in Spanish. Debbie Terrar Mas Fotos. 6 Grammys. Look, the guy is well qualified to perform at Super Bowl 60. When I did the research on him, preparing to ask him questions, it was clear to me, you know, he was well qualified to do it. Yeah, so the guy got the game on lock, man. The music game on lock. He's well qualified. To me, I just think people look foolish putting him down and saying he shouldn't, you know, he shouldn't perform. Hey, it's an opportunity. They presented it to him. You know, it is what it is. And I knew that he was going to do well. I knew he was going to do well. You know, so let me just make sure I had that correct. 6 Grammy Awards, 17 Latin Grammy Awards, 16 Billboard Music Awards, 54 Billboard Latin Music Awards, a total of 334 wins. And again, he set history for his most recent album, Debbie Terrar Mas Fotos. I should have taken more photos. The guy did fantastic. He did fantastic. And this is me at the press conference.
I just was at the Grammys last week. Yes, 3-time Grammy winner, Album of the Year winner, Bad Bunny. All of that, I mean, I've been working on this show, what we're gonna do next Sunday. So it's been a lot. Of course, there's a lot of grateful and agradecimiento. Is how I've been feeling this whole year with the album with the video on my photo. The biggest feeling is being grateful. Like, me siento muy agradecido y aunque de momento me...
Yeah, I knew he was going to do a fantastic job. The man was extremely cool, calm, and relaxed. There wasn't even 5% of him to show to me that he was nervous about performing in Super Bowl. If players were as cool and calm and collective as Bad Bunny, then you doing something right. In fact, if the Patriots was as cool, calm, and collective as Bad Bunny, I would have said, hey, the Patriots going to win. Because Bad Bunny was the most cool, laid back, relaxed guy about to perform in over 137 million people that I have ever seen. There was not 1% that I felt like he was nervous at all. Props to Bad Bunny. And in fact, this is how you should think about going into Super Bowl if you have to play in one.
You have the experience and you're a leader. What do you tell your teammates about this week in the Super Bowl?
At the end of the day, I tell them all the time, man, have fun with it. You know, my rookie year, I said it before, I didn't really, enjoy it. I didn't really understand, like, this doesn't happen every year. So I've been telling guys like Nick and Gray, man, enjoy it. But when it's time to go play football, let's lock it back into what we've been doing and what's got us to this point.
And finally, what do the Patriots do as a defense that makes it very tough for you?
I think, for me, it starts with the quarterback. he's able to make plays with his arm and with his legs. Then you factor in the actual run game that they do have. You have to start there with the running back. They've got a really good team, a lot of great weapons. And, I've said it before, it's going to be a tough challenge for us, but, in our preparation, we feel that, if it, regardless of whoever, we can go out there and, play our style, we got a chance.
Yeah, Ernest Jones, the fourth, yep. He said it perfectly. Just have fun with it. And when it's time to lock in, lock in. That is the best advice right there. Have fun with it. With media week, with everything that goes along with the Super Bowl, you can have family and friends pulling you in one direction. You can have the media, your obligations. You do have practices too later in the week. That's for the players. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. But when it's time to lock in, it's time to lock in. And that's what the Seahawks did. The Seahawks did it. And the nice thing with Ernest is that he played his rookie year in a Super Bowl. And he thought, like most people would think, this happens quite frequently. But no, making a Super Bowl doesn't happen often. Only 2 teams make it, and only 1 team wins it all. Props to James Kelly. Yes, so it's been busy. Like, I tried to do a live from San Francisco. I was a bit challenged there with the internet speed. That's the thing. Now there was some things that even myself that I felt like there was room for improvement for the next time. Like, people got to understand, there's giving somebody internet and there's giving somebody internet. Meaning just hotel type internet is good if you're surfing the internet, you want to upload a PDF file, things like that, it's fine. But if you want to go and do a live stream, you want to upload high resolution pictures and video, you need much more than just the basic internet. You need probably in a range of 250 gigs upload and download. And if you have a little bit less on the upload, that's fine. 100, you have to have at least a minimum of 100 and 100. And I felt like, basic hotel internet and, not going into too many details, but the internet that was available was not meeting the grade. And that made it tough for me to kind of upload some of the interviews and the content. So that was really the first time I had that particular type of issue because, again, cover Super Bowl, you're there for multiple days, even more days than if you covered the Daytona 500, which I've been blessed to cover a few times. You actually are stretching into much more days. And that is something that I took as, food for thought for in the future. If I want to do a live stream, how would be the best way for me to perform that with the fastest speed internet, not just on the phone, but if I had to use my laptop or something like that. So that is something I'm going to work on for next year. Like, because, there was some people in the media who had their live stuff, their packs, their battery packs, and I don't know what internet they were using. I didn't go into too many details, but they had it. And they weren't per se using the internet that was available to them. They had their own kind of kit and caboodle. I need to work on that. So that is coming in the future. There was some things that, overall I felt like not having any guidance. I felt like I did a wonderful job, but like anything, just the perfectionist that I am, I felt like, okay, next time I could do this a little better and that a little better. And that's how, that's how you improve. You kind of reassess and look at it. Like, I think there was an opportunity here. We do this a little better, little tweaks. It was awesome. It was an awesome experience. Again, there's more interviews coming. I don't want to spoil those surprises, but there's plenty more interviews coming because of the internet, slow down there. And yeah, yeah. Let me just show this video to you. This is Alan from the Alford Sports Talk Show. I was here when the plane arrived. 2-part question. Whose idea was it? Congratulations on the Super Bowl win, but whose idea was it to come in wearing all gray? And second thing is, whose idea was it to give away that Super Bowl hats?
Because I had a feeling he was going to win at that point.
The Super Bowl hats like they handed to you
Yeah,
coming down
yeah.
the plane.
Yep.
Eric Kennedy, our equipment guy, gave us the gray suits and we wore them. It was pretty simple. And they had the hats at the bottom, so not a lot of thinking on our part. We're just excited to be there and excited for the whole opportunity.
Yeah, Eric Kennedy, man, details. You know, I had to give him credit because I didn't know who came with the idea. It could have been Coach, but wearing that gray suit, giving away that Super Bowl hat. It's not just a free hat. It's just the details, team camaraderie. Eric Kennedy, the equipment director of equipment, the director of equipment for the Seattle Seahawks. Props to Eric Kennedy. Yes, details, details, details. So I knew the Seahawks were going to win the Super Bowl. I knew it. I called my son, called the whole family. I'm not a gambler, but everything less gambling. And I just knew they were going to win that Super Bowl. And that's what it was. You know, that's what it was. But yeah, it was outstanding. It was really, 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 man. And I'm gonna button this up here. There's events and then there's a Super Bowl. You know, the scale, how many athletes come down, both current players, retired players, family. It's the whole city. It's like when the Super Bowl's in your city, you know it's in your city. There is no secret. Streets are closed off. They have the NFL experience. I mean, there's so many events going on. It's like a cruise ship, but you're on land. And you know, it's since everything is packed in, you have to kind of navigate your day as to what events you're going to be at because typically you're going to miss something or you're going to have to cut something out because there's so many events, so much stuff going on. But it's just excitement and fun. You don't know who you're going to run into. I'm going to put up the picture a bit later. There's a lot of people who I ran into throughout the entire Super Bowl week, just on the street. You know, you got to stay alert because, you know, you almost feel like it's not a question if a celeb or an athlete is there. It's more of a question who's not there. That's how many celebs and athletes, both past and current, are there. You're questioning who's not here more than who is here. That's how vast it is. Props to EA Sports for the big time media party, which was outstanding. They had the media party right at the EA Sports headquarters, which was fantastic. I never been to the EA Sports. The whole time I was there, I was like, man, my son would have loved this, you know, to be inside the headquarters and all you can eat food for the media. It was just wonderful, man. It was just fantastic. And yes, props to the NFL, props to EA Sports, props to, you know, who am I forgetting? Oh, yes, Save the Bay. Save the Bay. That was the first interview I did was with the Save the Bay, and that was awesome. The Super Bowl, man, it's hard to put it in words. It's just so magnificent. It really is. And I'm just honored that I got a chance to come down and be a part of it and cover it. And I'll just button this up here with this one thing that I did close the show at the Grand Canyon. Hey, everybody. This is Alan from the Allen Alpha Sports Talk Show, signing off for Super Bowl 60 right here at the Grand Canyon. Hey, Arizona, California, right next door. Had to come by and visit. It's my third time visiting Grand Canyon. Never gets old. Definitely want to thank the NFL for the wonderful opportunity covering Super Bowl 60. It was magnificent. It truly was. Thank you to all the athletes, entertainers, celebs, and beyond that did interviews for the Allen Alpha Sports Talk Show. Thank you to all the fans for your support. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your shares. Tremendously appreciate you all. Hey, I did get a bit backlog on the content. Don't worry. I'm going to get it all out for you. It was wonderful. Praying that I get an opportunity for Super Bowl 61. But hey, definitely looking forward to it. You guys are amazing. Really tremendously appreciate you all. This is Alan from the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show, signing off from Grand Canyon. Let's go. Yeah, that was something I just thought of at the end, man. Signing off at the Grand Canyon. Basically, where I left at the Grand Canyon, that was it. Like that was officially the Super Bowl 60 coverage was over. That was the reason why I sent it off. I had to put that video out because that was it. When I saw by the Grand Canyon, there was no turning back. That was the end of the California trip. And the Grand Canyon is magnificent. If you ever haven't been to the Grand Canyon, I highly recommend you go there. You know, that is awe-inspiring. And if you ever doubt if there's a higher being, if God's there, go to the Grand Canyon and see for yourself. No man could have created that. That is just magnificent. And you get to see it yourself. But yes, it was a magnificent, magnificent trip. Props to all the fans, the supporters of the Allen Alpha Sports Talk Show. You made this opportunity possible. The Super Bowl 60 was magnificent. And this is the first time back from Super Bowl 60 as far as going live. I tried to go live last Friday, but it just didn't work. And I didn't want to kind of like, I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but there were just certain things that just weren't in place for me to really go live adequately. So I said, let me put off when I'm back. Props to the Seahawks. Yeah, it was magnificent. It really was. And I did want to go ahead and play something from Sam Scola. I'm gonna play that for you in a little bit. But I did want to make sure I didn't forget anybody. Props to James Kelly, 5470. He said, "Hey, where have you been? Super Bowl 60 coverage." And that was a lot. That was a lot. And it wasn't just like I got there couple days before the game. I was there before everything. Like I was there from the very first event they had, the airport arrivals. I showed up and was at the press conference after they won two, which you saw with Coach McDonald. So I was there from the beginning, middle, end. I didn't want to shortcut anything. I didn't want to come in late or anything like that. So I was there the whole week, and it was fantastic. It really was. And the last thing I'm gonna say on it is, look, the guy that ran on the field. Come on, man. If you have to pay $40,000 for two tickets to get in the front row, to me, it's obvious you're smart enough and bright enough to do other things than running on the field with your Instagram handle all on your shirt. I mean, not on your shirt, I should say on your bare body. Not he was topless, not totally. Look, success is not something you just get in a bottle. It's something you work hard at and you keep going at it. You're not getting no flash in the pants, man. If you're smart enough to pay and you have 40K to get front row tickets for you and your decoy, you have the means to do something much more productive and be a better person 5, 10, 15 years down the road when you have kids and they see that. That is something you're going to be like, man, I wish I didn't do that. So that's what I'm saying. Unless you go not have kids, but even you have to have parents, friends, or family look for a job, and someone sees that. Besides laughing, you don't want to be the brunt of all the jokes. Don't run on the field, folks. It's not worth it. Let the players do their thing. Yes, so I'm gonna switch gears and talk about Daytona 500. To me, to me personally, I don't think Michael Jordan has 7 rings. I think he has 8 rings. Again, I don't think Michael Jordan has 7 rings. I think he has 8 rings. Let me explain. Michael Jordan winning in court, in NASCAR, in a predominantly, let's, let's just say, Caucasian sport, where you're vastly outnumbered, and the people who have the money probably have just as much money as Michael, if not even more. He went to court against that, which is basically almost going to court against City Hall and won reported allegedly $300 million in his lawsuit back in towards the end of the year, November, December. That to me was ring number 7. You winning that was 7. And then you win the Daytona 500. One of your drivers, he has 4 drivers in the race. One of his drivers, Tyler Reddick, wins the Daytona 500. To me, that's ring number 8. 7 winning in court, 8 winning the Daytona 500. And this, folks, is the reason why you shouldn't copy people, because now the LeBron James fans are upset because this is something they know is going to be very difficult to copy. You would have to become an owner, a part owner of a team in NASCAR, which is very difficult to do. And then on top of it, you got to hope that your driver wins the race. Jordan does have a leg up on you because he has four horses in the race. But man, that is ring number 8 to me. 8, not 7. 8. 7 was winning in court. 8 was winning Daytona 500. 8 rings. Major props and a happy belated birthday to Michael Jordan. His birthday was on Tuesday. That is just baller style right there. To me, it's not even close. Michael Jordan is the GOAT. He is the GOAT, whether you like it or not. 4 is not greater than 6. LBJ has 4 rings. Michael Jordan has 6. Michael Jordan has 5 MVPs. LeBron James has 4. Michael Jordan is 6 out of 6 in the finals and has all 6 MVPs. LeBron James 4 wins, 10 losses, which is a losing record. Sorry. It is what it is. I have Michael Jordan as the all-time GOAT. Number 2, I have, may he rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. And number 3 is LeBron James. That's what I have. And I could debate with you any day of the week, but that's what it is. The man is the GOAT. Michael Jordan even has an NCAA championship, which is like winning a Super Bowl. The Final Four is coming up. You'll see for yourself. You end up winning that, that's like winning another Super Bowl. Then you got Daytona 500, and you won in court. 300 plus, allegedly, $300 million against NASCAR, which is like to me going against City Hall. 8 rings. 8 rings. It is what it is. And now we're going to switch gears and talk about the UFL. Hey, props. The support seems, especially in Louisville, like you guys are coming through. That's kind of what I suggested or expected, that they needed to have another fan base similar to the Battlehawks. Hopefully the Battlehawks comes back strong, like they were in the past. Things have changed a bit. Anthony Beck's not there. The quarterback is not there. He's going to be a coach for the Stallions, AJ McCarron. So a little changes there, but I still think the Battlehawks will still draw well. Maybe we'll see. Well, I'm not going to say that out there, but I thought uniforms look nice with one major exception. One major exception. I don't know why, out of all the colors, the team, one of the 2 teams I'm be covering, the Orlando Storm, why they would go with a black jersey. I don't know why you would do that. It's Orlando. It's hot. And not only that, listen, I won't even walk my daughter to school, pick her up from school, and walk home with a black shirt here in Florida. I won't even do it. I'll pick up any other color shirt, not black. Not black. And I have plenty of black shirts. I won't wear it because it attracts heat. It makes you 5 to, at least, I would say at least 5 to 7 degrees hotter. It absorbs heat. If you get a black shirt or jersey, that's not good for you. And on top of it, if you have a car that's black here in Florida, you know what I mean. It attracts heat. You touch it. Your interior is black. It's not the state that I would suggest you have in black. That's in fact one of the questions I even asked the XFL when they were here for the first time around. hey, you had to play the game in the middle of the afternoon. Whereas the other games you had late afternoon, you had very early, you were literally right in the middle of the afternoon playing in heat. How was it? Like, yeah, man, it was hot. It was hot. There's a reason why the Bucks, most of the time, if they can get away with it, they do it. They wear the white jersey at home because it's hot. So I love the uniforms, and I wasn't even bothered with the no bull, that big logo that a lot of people complain about. That really didn't bother me. The only thing that I was like, I don't know why you would do that, is the black jersey for the Orlando Storm. And that has to be the home jersey, in my opinion, because you have the gray one. I guess you could play that at home, but I think they're going to have to play the black one at home. For their sake, I hope not. But we'll see. I would have not went with black. That's just me, especially not in Orlando. I know a few fans have said that, and I would have to agree. Definitely get your tickets. Get ready. The end of March will be before you know it. It's already coming towards the end of February. So make sure you guys get connected. Get connected. Get connected. Get your season tickets. Support, support, support. You know, that is one thing that, in order for you to get to the big time Super Bowl 60 that we see now and during the week, you have to get through the UFL championship every year. Keep supporting, keep putting it out there, keep supporting where you can. I know it's not going to stop me. Certain things I may agree or disagree with, but one thing is not going to happen is I'm going to be supporting the UFL. I kind of, didn't post as much yet for the UFL. I don't want to confuse the audience. I still want you guys to follow along for the NFL because I just feel like, let me button it up. Again, there's quite a few interviews I did that I'm posting up. Then we'll go ahead. It's plenty of time before the season starts. And I'll start putting the floodgates like I normally do about the UFL. So it's on the horizon. And I love the fact Danny Garcia and The Rock, they're doing Jumanji 3. That is in production. Me, myself, and the kids are excited about it. All parts 1 and 2, the version with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, have been fantastic. If you haven't seen Jumanji with The Rock, see Jumanji's part 1 and 2. Fabulous. And I love the fact that they're coming up with 3. So props to that as well. Yeah. The UFL is going to have a different feel to it this year. You have Mike Rapoli doing his thing. New uniforms, new teams, new coaches. It's going to look differently. It's going to have a different feel. And props to Louisville. Almost selling out. So keep up that support. Battlehawks come back. The guys in Orlando, your home state, they're the one who make you nervous because it's a tourist area and there's so many other things you could be doing other than watching a UFL game. That's just how Orlando is. It's a tourist area. So we'll see how it goes. But yes, let me go ahead and play these songs. This song here is from Sam Scola. This song is dedicated, I would have to say dedicated now for the Patriots. I tried to get it out before the Super Bowl, but now we'll do even better. We'll play it as tribute to the Patriots at least getting to Super Bowl 60. Here we go. This is Sam Scola Songs. Go New England Patriots. Here we go.
Go New England Patriots, the football season begins. Go New England Patriots, let's go out and win. Let's score some touchdowns, pick up a first hear the victory cheer. Go New England Patriots, go New England Patriots, go New England Patriots.
Go New England Patriots. There you go, Sam Scholar songs. And it says the offense, yeah, the Seattle Seahawks defense made it tough on that offense. They needed some offense. I can't say I'm surprised, but yes, there's always next year. And I'm already preparing for Super Bowl 61. So let me go ahead. Props to Sam Scholar songs. And let me play another song by Sam Scholar songs here. Let me pull this up for you here. Here we go. A football penalty.
You see the officials make a bad call. They decide which team will take the fall. They take away a big play. The score has gone the wrong way. False start, holding, a football penalty. Pass interference, a football penalty. There's a yellow flag on the ground. You've lost the go-ahead touchdown. They decide who wins and loses the game. It's time for them to take the blame. Roughing a passer, a football penalty. Illegal formation, a football penalty. 5, 10, 15 yards, a football penalty. The play is going offside, a football penalty. A football penalty, a football penalty. A football penalty, a football penalty.
Football penalty. There you go. Football penalty right there. Sam Scholar songs. A football penalty and go New England Patriots. Really appreciate Sam Scholar for those songs. Definitely thank you so much. That's awesome. Make sure you guys check out YouTube and Spotify. My man is on there. Sam Scholar songs. And also let me put a note on here too for you guys as well. Let me make sure I mention this too. Yes. And let me pull this up here. Give me one moment, guys, and I'll make sure I give Sam Scholar his props there. Okay. Yes. Sam Scholar song collection number 45 is out on YouTube and Spotify. So, yes, Sam Scholar song collection number 45 is out now on YouTube and Spotify. Make sure you guys check that out. And definitely make sure you check that out. And reach out to me if you want to give Sam Scholar an opportunity. Yes, make sure you do that as well. Big props to Sam Scholar songs. Let's see here. Here. Man, Purdue put belt. There you go. Appreciate the insight, Phil Donahue, the official Phil Donahue. Yes. Let me go ahead. Thank you. So it says, are you related to Steve Alford? That's a very good question. No, I'm not. I'm not. The crazy thing is, I didn't think there was too many Alfords, but there is Steve Alford. There's another Alford that plays for the Falcons as well. No relation. I didn't think my last name was that popular, but once you get in sports, you find out there is some Alfords out there. So yes, and let me, in fact, pull up that score for you guys. Man, Purdue, they really, did a number. Yeah, wow, 93-64. Purdue Boilermakers over the Indiana Hoosiers. Man, you're right. They really did put a number on them. Yes, and props again, to Michael Jordan. He won a NCAA championship. That's like winning the Super Bowl. It is very difficult to make it to the Final Four and be the one team standing and win. Can't believe Michael Jordan did it. That's why I'm saying he's a GOAT right there. He's a GOAT. But yes, and you guys are the GOAT too. Sam's Cola Songs, all your fans, making that opportunity possible to cover Super Bowl 60, praying and really hoping that I get a chance to cover Super Bowl 61. But it's to be determined. We'll wait and see. But man, that was an experience. But yeah, it's I miss doing the show. I was having a fantastic time, but I miss like being connected with you guys for those 3 or probably almost 4 weeks. Just the length of time, the internet. Another thing is this, one downfall I would say when you have a show that's Friday night, some businesses close. It makes it tough sometimes if you're on the road to do a live show. And it's not like I could do a live show every place, just pull up and just do it on the side of the road or something. So, but I'm gonna work on getting that live feed. I'm gonna figure out what the news does, and I'll work on that. But yes, props to definitely Purdue with the big win. Definitely make sure you guys don't forget, get those season tickets, theufl.com, support them. And looking forward to next Friday with you guys. Props to Sam Scola Songs doing his thing. And props to Phil Donahue Official and James Kelly 5470. And there was some other people that chimed in. I'm going to give this new streaming service a try. It's Riverside, and see how it works and go from there. And definitely props to you guys. You guys are awesome. Really tremendously appreciate you guys. So this is me signing off for the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. I will see you next Friday. Make sure you guys have a fantastic weekend. Be safe, be sound. Definitely looking forward to seeing you next Friday. Be blessed. Gonna end the show with another Sam Scola song. It's the end of the show. Be blessed, be well. I'll see you next Friday. Stay connected on all social media, the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show.com and Allen Alford. Just type in Allen Alford, ALAN, ALFORD. Should be able to find me on all social media platforms as well. God bless you guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see you again. Take care.
It's the end of the show. That's